I'm Edwin Ellis, and I'm a research partner affiliated with the University of Kansas Center for Research on Learning. In this video, I'm going to provide an overview of the differentiated visual tools for strategic instruction for grades 3 through 5, which was designed for teaching the Common Core standards associated with reading literature, information text, as well as writing. A few key ideas about DVTs. First, we know from our research that they're highly robust. They impact students that are high achieving, typical achieving, as well as struggling learners and struggling learners with learning disabilities. DVTs are also discipline specific. For an example, this one was designed for reading literature, while this one was designed for reading information text, and this one was designed for writing narratives. Likewise, the different visuals also target very specific learning standards from the Common Core. You'll also find that there are different visuals for different student needs. For an example, here's one for analyzing point of view, and here's a more sophisticated one for analyzing point of view. Thus, using these visuals are a good way to implement differentiated instruction. Finally, DVTs minimize cognitive load. For example, consider this standard. Analyze multiple accounts of the same event or topic, noting important similarities and differences in the point of view they represent. So how would you go about teaching a standard like this? What we've been doing is designing specific visuals that target these complex standards. Thus, these DVTs enable teachers to see how to address these complex standards in relatively simple ways. Put another way, they structure for success. This is the home page of the differentiated visual tools for strategic instruction in grades 3 through 5. And so as you can see how this is set up for each grade level, there's a button here to access literature DVTs for grade 3, as well as those for information text. What you don't see is a button for writing, and that's because we're going to be using the literature DVTs and the information text DVTs from each grade level as tools for planning writing. So let's look at an example. I'm going to click on literature, and so the first thing you might notice are abbreviated versions of the standards from the Common Core for grade 3 for reading literature that these DVTs are designed to address. So for an example, summarizing key ideas and identifying the central message in grade 3, then there are a couple of different DVTs that you can use for that. Each one of these will have a title. For an example, this has The Legend of John Henry. And what that is a link to an example of how a teacher used that particular DVT. And so you'll have samples for each of these. Also, if you click on the word color, what opens up is a Word document of that DVT with interactive text boxes. By interactive, I mean you can click on the box and type information into these and then save these into a folder that you're working with. So each one will have a color version of the DVT, which is a Word document, and also a black and white version. Of course, the black and white versions are there so you can print these for students to use as handouts, but they are interactive. Now I'm going to click on Main Menu here, and we're going to go over to Literature for Grade 4. These are the Common Core standards for reading literature that these visuals are designed to address. And again, each one of these will have a sample of how a teacher used it, as well as the Word document with text boxes that are built in. So same thing for grade 5. And as you might have noticed, as we move through the grade levels, these DVTs gradually get more and more sophisticated. What's important to understand is that you may have some students in 5th grade that are working on identify the theme in a story and explaining the theme, while at the same time you may have other students also in 5th grade that are really working more on a 3rd grade level. And so these are might be appropriate for some of your students in 5th grade. You may have others that are a little bit closer to the grade level, as well as you may have some more advanced learners that are working on the 5th grade level. So you can move from grade to grade in order to pick the DVTs that best match the developmental needs of your students. Likewise, for each grade level, there are specific visuals that address information text. So here are the standards for reading information for grade 3 and the visuals that we've designed for those. And of course, the same thing for grade 4 and grade 5. This button gives access to some stratagems or some suggestions for how to use these. For an example, these are teacher-assisted types of instructional routines, like before a lesson, if you wanted to use these to do a guided review of something you've already read. So what opens up is basically a lesson plan that's all laid out in terms of how to use this particular procedure, guided review. I really like also using peer-assisted techniques. So for an example, one of my favorite ones is called rotated visuals. And so this is the instruction for how to implement the technique. If you'd like to learn more about the differentiated visual tools for strategic instruction in grades 3 through 5, there's a free demo download from our website that you can access. The demo version provides free access to all of the samples that are on the software so that you can check those out and really study them to get a better sense of what's on the program. It also provides some limited access to some of the instructional resources so that you can try them out when working with kids. If you'd like to purchase a complete version of the software, then CDs and immediate download of the program is available at our website, makessensestrategies.com. Likewise, for information about multi-user licenses, as well as professional development opportunities, please send us an email at visualtools@makessensestrategies.com.